Okay, this is lesson 4 of the Catechism of Catechism of Christian Doctrine, prepared and enjoined by order of the Third Plenary Council of Baltimore. All right, in this book 1. So anyway, lesson 4. This is on the angels and our first parents. Which are the chief creatures of God? The chief creatures of God are men and angels. Men meaning human beings, men and women. And angels, of course, are guardian angels, and we think of St. Michael, St. Raphael, St. Gabriel, St. Uriel. These are angels. What are angels? Angels are bodiless spirits created to adore and enjoy God in heaven. So angels were never incarnated into the flesh on this earth. They do come to the earth. They are on the earth. You know, we believe at the Latin Mass that the angels are present at the Mass, and that they will take our offering, the priest's offering, to heaven, and it'll be consecrated there and then brought back. So we do believe that. But they are spirits. We don't really see them. And they are God's servants. Okay? Who were the first man and woman? The first man and woman were Adam and Eve. And of course, that's in the book of Genesis. You can read that yourself. Were Adam and Eve innocent and holy when they came from the hand of God? Adam and Eve were innocent and holy when they came from the hand of God. So they were sinless. Did Adam and Eve remain faithful to God? Adam and Eve did not remain faithful to God, so that's where the sin came in, but broke his command by eating the forbidden fruit. And of course, that was the apple, right? What befell Adam and Eve on account of their sin? Adam and Eve, on account of their sin, lost innocence and holiness and were doomed to misery and death. So basically, if we can look at it this way, that human beings disobeyed God. And from the disobedience, the violation of his laws, because this is a world of law set down by God, and we have to obey those laws. When we disobey those laws, that's sin, and we fall short of what we could be, what we're supposed to be, what God wants us to be, and then we suffer the consequences, and that's the misery and eventually, leaving this earth because our bodies die. What evil befell us through the disobedience of our first parents? Through the disobedience of our first parents, we all inherit their sin and punishment, as we should have shared in their happiness if they had remained faithful. So I think the idea is that human beings, have a tendency to disobey because of the free will that we have. And we have that ability, and we don't control our passions and, make wise decisions sometimes, and therefore we have inherited this tendency. Okay? And we suffer because of it. What is the sin called which we inherit from our first parents? The sin which we inherit from our first parents is called original sin. Was anyone ever preserved from original sin? And of course, this is a teaching of the Catholic Church. The Blessed Virgin Mary, through the merits of her divine Son, was preserved, free from the guilt of original sin. And this privilege is called her Immaculate Conception. The idea is that Jesus, in order to incarnate into her body, right, to come to earth, would have to have a vessel, right, that's perfect. So it would have to have been a vessel without sin or the tendency to sin. So, the Blessed Mother was a human. I'm sure she made mistakes like anyone else. But the idea is that she did not have the original stain because Jesus was born into a perfect vessel. Okay, and that's it. for lesson 4. Take care.